So we have an article from Racer X online. Aaron Plessinger hints towards re-signing with KTM for 2026 on Pulp MX show. So that is the show with Steve Matthes. We may have landed our first piece of the silly season puzzle for the 2026 Super Motocross World Championship, SMX. On Monday night, Aaron Plessinger, winner of the muddy Foxborough Supercross over the weekend, called into Steve Matthes' live Pulp MX show to talk about his race win, racing in the mud, his Grand National Cross Country GNCC racing routes, and more. On Tuesday, Matthes posted the following on X, formerly known as Twitter. Couple things from AP's Pulp MX show interview. Sounds like he re-signed with KTM and he's got a spot booked on Dale Jr.'s podcast next month after he wore Dale's Cena jersey on podium at Daytona. And here is the exact tweet. Plessinger said, "Without trying to give it away, I don't know if I could talk about it as of right now." Laughs. "I'm in such a good place now that I'm super stoked and I'm super happy. If I knew that I could tell you guys, I would so tell you right now." In studio, guest Chris Kiefer said, "Okay, so let's read this." And Matthes responded, "He's staying. Yeah, that's what I would say." If that was his answer, it seems either two things. He got a signing that he never thought we get with a team that he secretly really wanted or likes, or KTM finally was like, "Hey, we're gonna make you the number one guy for our team, we're gonna do this for you, blah 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 blah," because rumors are that Chase may be thinking about going elsewhere. Plessinger just laughed. Then the group continued talking about some other silly season news and Plessinger's marketability as a writer with good personality and, as Kiefer says, the POP, power of Plessinger. He mentioned that May 13th he will be on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s podcast, the Dale Jr. Download, following the end of Monster Energy AMA Supercross. Really good podcast. Earnhardt Jr. has had dozens of legends in the motorsports world on his podcast, which would be a huge opportunity for four-wheel fans to learn about Plessinger and the SMX world. That would be a good link right there and connection. And if you have not, definitely check out the interview he did with Cletus McFarland. Amazing and really genuine, down to earth. I enjoyed it. It's long, but it's really worth it. With a lot of 450cc riders, contracts up at the end of this 2025 SMX season, Eli Tomac, Chase Saxton, Ken Roxon, Justin Barcia, Justin Cooper, Jason Anderson. Oh, look at that. They repeated Justin Barcia twice. Malcolm Stewart, and more. Plessinger becomes the first new deal to be in the public light. Plessinger joins the Red Bull KTM team, making his debut with the team at the 2022 Anaheim 1 Supercross. In his second race with the team, Plessinger scored second in Oakland, California. Plessinger has 2 450 SX wins, 10 total 450cc podiums so far with the team aboard his KTM 450 SXF.
Let's welcome in the winner of This Weekend in Foxborough, Aaron Plessinger. What's up, AP? How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Right now, I'm actually trying to put together a car seat that I took apart a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And this is more confusing than trying to navigate the ruts in Foxborough. I'm pretty sure.
Oops, yeah, I should have done that, right? Hey, man, good job. And like Kiefer was talking earlier, like obviously you're good in the mud. We know that, your attitude, you're happy with it, and that's part of it. You're obviously really good in the mud. Getting the start was huge. But Kiefer had a really good point earlier in the show. Like, dude, you were just chilling. Like, it did look like you were going slow. But you were lining yourself up, finding a rut, and just...
Took your time?
Yeah, took your time.
Dude, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I did all day long. I mean, in practice, too, like, it wasn't as bad as the night show, but I don't know. In those conditions, I just don't freak out. I just slow down and just try to think. And usually that helps out a lot. But no, it was a good ride. Like, it was a good day overall, you know? Lo and behold, we're racing. And, it was just good.
So you do, like, tell yourself, hey, calm down, like, go slow, like, you have to tell yourself that, or it's just the way it is, like, the way you ride, or do you have to sort of remind yourself that?
Sometimes I have to remind myself of that. Like, in the heat race, for instance, like, when I got in second, I was, like, trying way too hard to go catch Shane, and he was, like, 15 seconds out in front of me, and I was like, dude, just chill. Like, fourth gate pick is not bad at all.
Cutting it back in, and you had your own fucking line to do that double. No one was doing that.
Oh, dude, yeah, and I didn't figure that out until I was passing a lapper. I can't remember who it was, but I was passing a lapper, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go outside, and then their line went into mine, so I hit the brakes, and I just looked to my left, as flat as you can, like, as flat as
all fresh.
Yeah, it was so fresh, and after that, it seemed like nobody took that line. And so I just made my little roundabout line, and it was perfect because I was having such a hard time hitting that double.
Yeah.
And once I figured that line out, it was like, it was easy.
I just thought it was unique because it reminded me back in the day, like when you were a kid and used to build your own tracks in the yard or something, you're riding, you didn't want to mess up the berm, and you had your own little line, and I just see AP out there going wide, cutting back in, and I see this rut going up. I go, dude, that's AP's rut. No one's even going in that thing. That's yours. I thought that was pretty cool.
Trying to have fun and smiling and whatever, but it was a bad spot that I was in, and I actually reverted to listening to like motivational videos.
Oh wow!
Like
oh yeah,
like the motivational speaker. Yeah. I would go. I was staying in Newport. I would turn his videos on and literally drive from Newport to Marietta. And this was probably, I would do that every single drive I made.
Oh.
So probably for...
Hey Adam, what is going on? It is your boy AP here, dressed in my Wednesday best. And man, I am dropping in to say congratulations. Getting married soon. That is pretty special. That is a big commitment, and congratulations to you and Linda. Man, that's a big step, and I'm stoked for you guys. But I know I'm about a day late or 2 days late on this, but I wish I could have got to see you guys at Southwick. But hey, man, if you get some motivation. There's a couple more races, and you know, a little bit of a drive ain't too bad. Maybe we could see you at Budds Creek. Budds Creek ain't too far from Southwick. But alrighty, guys. Well, congratulations. Hope you're having a good day, and until we see you.
I was just driving for an hour and a half straight, just listening to his videos, and I mean, it didn't help me like immediately. But I think it helped me just to kind of stay in the moment and not really give up on myself, because after the two last place finishes, I was like, what am I doing? I was just like, what is going on here? And I just had to remind myself, like, I'm good. I'm like really good. And this is just a rough patch I'm going through, and it'll come out sometime soon. But for right now, you're gonna struggle. And it's not going to be fun. So, yeah, it was almost every day I had to convince myself that I was good on a dirt bike and I wasn't falling off. So,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say just to kind of turn it around for me.
Yeah, someone was asking Ian or something, hey, is there bike struggles or, you know, what's going on, Aaron? And he's like, no, same bike, you know, same everything that he had last year when he had the red plate. And it wasn't really anything that anybody could think of as far as what it was. It was just, like you said, between the ears a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 100% between the ears. And, like, what is this? Like, where am I going with this? And then, but yeah, I don't know. I have such good people around me to, like, make me know that I'm good at riding dirt bikes. That helped during the week. But, when I went home, it was to me to kind of try to dig myself out of the hole that I had dug for myself. So, no, it was tough. It was really, really, really tough. And this win this weekend, like, it made it so much better. Even especially it was.
Yeah, you got $100,000.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. That, and then it just, like, I don't know, for those few weeks I was struggling to get back to where I am now. Is like, I'm like, man, it's such a monkey off the back, and just like I can breathe now.
Yeah.
I'm back to where I should have been at Anaheim.
Yeah, you've been riding a lot better even without this win. Like, even if you'd gotten, third this weekend or whatever, you've been riding a lot better. Your starts are on point.
Great, yeah.
Starts are on point. You look so much better. And
you weren't so jokey and laughy and stuff. It was almost more like an emotional win. And I'm sure you had just everything that you've been struggling with at the beginning part of the season just kind of just falling off your shoulders, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it was just like I was, trying to be so in the moment, but, like, overall, like, all I could think about was, man, what, like, from how I started to, like, being on top of the podium, that's literally all I could think about. And I really almost couldn't talk, like, on the podium. I told Will I was kind of getting emotional, but it was real. Like, I had no words to put out how it felt. It just felt so good and so relieving that I was back up there, and going back, a month or two, and I was just like, I was struggling so bad, and then, I was getting sick and this and that, and I was just, like, in my head, like, man, I don't know, like, if I don't pick this up, where am I going to go? And that's all I could think about.
So, real quick, praise on Chance Hymas, where HRC Honda Racing had expressed their pride and his wins on their main website. So it says Chance Hymas claims career first Supercross win in Foxborough. Idaho native secures first place in a muddy 250 SX East main event. Phoenix Racing's Cullen Park makes it a 1-2 Honda finish. Career's first 450 podium for Quad Lock Honda Racing's Shane McElrath. Honda HRC Progressives Chance Hymas earned the first 250 SX main event victory of his career at the weekend's Foxborough Supercross, masterfully navigating a track made treacherous by consistent rain. With the slick and muddy conditions, Hymas capitalized on the mistakes of others and rode in control. Phoenix Racing Honda's Cullen Park also put in an impressive performance, finishing second abroad another CRF for the best result of his career. In the Premier class, Quadlock Honda Racing's Shane McElrath finished second, marking yet another career best result. The 250 SX East main event saw Hymas grab a top 5 start from a far outside gate and maintained his cool despite the atrocious conditions, setting a pace that was faster than the competition. While also minimizing mistakes, the Idaho native advanced, assuming the lead at the midway point and maintaining it to the checkers. He crossed the finish line over half a minute ahead of the second place Park, who had taken that position on the same lap that Hymas secured the lead. Next level Redline Oil, Hammer Nutrition backed Honda rider Justin Rodbell had an impressive ride in the mud to finish fourth. while SPR's Lance Kobush made it 4 Hondas in the top 6. Ty Lube Honda's Trevor Kolip finished 11th, and Storm Lake Honda Buddy Brooks Racing Henry Miller took 13th. So it looks like Honda did pretty good. The 450SX main event saw McElrath show his skill and composure in the challenging conditions, finishing lap 1 in 3rd, advancing to the second a lap later, and staying there for the majority of the race. Phoenix Racing Honda's Dylan Ferrandis crossed the line in 10th. And Valley Motorsports back Jeremy Hand finished in 19th on another Honda. And then below, they listed some highlights and notes of everything related to Honda and their teams that went on. For example, it says Honda HRC Progressive team manager Lars Lindstrom was featured in an interview on Race Day Live, which he was. And that's where they had announced about Dean Wilson, Grandpa Earl. So really cool that Honda's doing good despite having Jet and Hunter out for the Supercross season, which is a huge bummer for Honda.
Okay, that was a couple of years ago. We were able to show off our motocross skills right here on the Fox Square, and we live to tell the story, thank goodness. Today, it is our turn again. We have the first family of motorsports right here on Fox Square to help us.
That's right, motocross legend Brian Deegan and his children, Indy NXT driver Haley Deegan, and professional motocross racer Haiden Deegan. They join us now. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So you're a complete legend, and now your kids have embraced the tradition. How does it make you feel?
Feel good. It's exciting. I grew up racing motocross, supercross, went into car racing, and then as we had children with my wife, we put Haley into car racing, and her goal was to get to NASCAR and then into IndyCar. So it's pretty exciting. And Hayden went to motocross and supercross, and Hudson, our youngest, does golf. So.
Different direction. Hey, what's it like being a female in Indy?
Oh man, it's wild. There's definitely not many girls out there at all. So trying to represent the females in the sport and showing other girls as possible is awesome because there isn't many of them in racing. And very far and few opportunities. And it's definitely super hard, super physical. And so it's definitely a challenge, but I love it.
So you grew up in this culture. There was no learning curve, was it, for you? You grew up doing this.
Yeah, since I was little, I was in a little height trail outside watching my dad and all his buddies do freestyle tricks, but I didn't take the freestyle route. I went racing because tricks ain't really my thing. You know, I like racing and winning races and being the top dog pretty much. That's what I'm talking about.
When he was 10 years old, you flipped you did a backflip on your motorcycle, and that was the first time a 10-year-old had ever done that.
Yeah, well, that was like, I kind of had to hide that from my mom when she was gone. My dad was like, Jackson Strong, too much truly came down. He's like the gnarly, he's wild. So backflipped at 10 years old, mom was gone, she was pissed. So.
Mom was at my race, she's living.
I had a backflip.
Mom's over there taking care of it.
I had a backflip, but once I was over, we're back to racing.
So y'all gonna show us some stuff, right? I can go lead myself because the last time I tried to start a motorcycle, apparently I'm not equipped to do that. So let's go over there. Let's try to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you determine which bike you like to ride?
I mean, these are like the entry-level bikes. Like if you're just learning, honestly, for you guys, if you're learning, this is kind of what you start on. And then once you get to the point of racing, you go on a bike like this. Okay. So this is the bikes we race. This is like one of our backup bikes that we have. But right now, these are like the entry-level bikes. These are what you're gonna learn on. It's pretty slow. It's literally electric start.
Yeah. All right, do you ever get scared?
I do get scared, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, it is dangerous. We get some big jumps, though. That's just how it goes.
What's the hardest thing to learn when you're first beginning? So is it the clutch or?
You probably suck to this off for now. Yeah, the clutch is like, that one doesn't have a clutch, so that's kind of like the one you want to learn on. Once you go to the clutch, it gets a whole lot harder. Because now you got to release the clutch and stuff. That's more advanced, but obviously we can teach you that.
Okay, Haley, is this your car?
Yes, this is. So this is my Indy NXT car.
Okay.
Super fast. It's awesome, and they're really, really fun to drive. So this is kind of the tier right below IndyCar. So we go to a lot of the same races and same tracks as IndyCar does. Race right before Fox and FS1. Yeah. No,
it's so small.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So there's not actual seats in these cars. It's a carbon shell, and you pretty much sit in it, and you're like, okay, I think this feels somewhat right, and they pour a mold mold into you, so it's molded exactly to my body.
Oh, okay.
And so if I gain any weight, probably not good. I'm probably gonna need
How
new
fast
people.
can this go?
Supercross, about 190, I would
Oh,
say.
wow.
Yeah.
And what's the fastest?
At one of the tracks that we went to, probably around 187, 188.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
There's a few, there's a few other faster
Yes.
tracks, but haven't got there just yet. So.
And Brian, y'all have something coming up in Philly this weekend?
Supercross on
Supercross
Saturday.
is
Yeah,
Saturday.
Hayden's racing, leading the points in that championship.
Oh, wow,
Yeah, a few rounds
congratulations.
left to go, and it's going to be exciting. Yeah, there's always good racing in this area, a lot of good motocross. So it's a great sport, great family sport.
And y'all are a great family, so thanks so much
Yeah,
for joining us.
thanks,
Now,
Fox.
do you feel a lot of pressure having your dad and he's coaching on the side? He's the expert.
The pressure, I kind of got rid of the pressure now. Like my dad won one Supercross, so once I got the one Supercross win,
Yeah.
I kind of relieved that pressure. Now I just want to
What
win
was
more.
that day like?
Oh, it's in tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won his first Supercross, same place that I won my first
Oh,
Supercross.
that's cool.
It was pretty iconic. Those
Yeah.
were like, it was
Yeah.
like awesome.
Thank y'all.
Congratulations. What a great family.
So Justin Rodbell worked. So Justin Rodbell works HVAC during the week and finished P4 in Foxborough Mutter. The privateer borrowed a bike from Mason Kerr and rode it to P4 in the main event at Foxborough. He then went right back to work as an HVAC tech on Monday. Looks like Pulp MX with Steve Mathis had called him for an interview, and there was a little bit of a mic drop.
LuxonMX.com bringing you Justin Rodbell and Courtney. Courtney Rodbell.
Yeah, future Rodbell.
Future Rodbell.
Did you ask her to marry yet? And we just haven't done that yet.
I haven't got there yet.
Got it. Copy.
But, I mean, I got some good bonuses coming, so.
Yeah. Can she give us the name of like a couple factory guys that slid in to the DMs?
Yeah.
Can we get that or no?
Listen, ask her this. Besides you.
No, dude, you know what? Dude, let me tell you. I will say this. When we first started dating, and this is one that, bro, would make your heart drop.
Mm-hmm.
You know who requested to follow her? Like, right off the, we were dating for like a year? Guess.
A-Ray.
No, nigga, Jet Lawrence.
No, nice.
I said, we're about to figure out if you're real or not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are. We are definitely going to figure it out. Nice.
I like it.
Do we have fans here of Phil Nicholetti, Mr. Potty Mouth? It looks like he wrote on Racer X, e-bike people who are on public trails on boost mode being a prick are sissies. After a short hiatus, Unfiltered is back. In between pounding motos and getting back in race shape for the Canadian Nationals, Filthy Phil Nicholetti sat down to tackle questions on e-bikes, green leader lights, and his upcoming stint up north. As always, if you want to get in touch with the grumpiest man in America and now Canadian motocross, send your questions to phil@racerxonline.com. Hey Phil, I've seen you on the bike at the WWC and Sherman Branch before, and you were on a regular analog MTB. What's your take on e-bikes? Do lots of guys ride them? Are they for recovery days? Or do the hardcore just stick to pure muscle power? My brother says they're purely for sissies, so I'm wondering how many of his moto heroes are actually sissified in his eyes. Happy trails, Shredder. I'm over the goddamn e-bike debate. Who gives a flying fuck? E-bikes have helped the biking industry so much. They've opened a whole new market for people who want to get outside and ride. Yep, I agree with that. That's what counts the most. They've opened people with health conditions, people who are overweight and are trying to get their life back on track, beginners, etc. People need to chill. You aren't going to Nino Schroeder, and you're not going to be a UCI athlete. No one cares about your local KOM at a local trail. I do use my e-bike. I have a specialized Levo, and I love it. I use it as a training tool. I'm not ripping around in boost, giving the bird to people on the trail. I cruise around in eco mode and can keep my recovery ride. A recovery ride without having to put 300 watts into the pedal to get up the hills. E-bike people aren't sissies. E-bike people who are on public trails on boost mode being a prick are sissies. That's where I draw the line. You want to do 18 miles per hour on a trail where a normal bike should be doing maybe 12 miles per hour, then you need to get a life. Go on the road or go e-bike racing. It's a pedal assist bike, meaning it's meant to assist you along the way, not turn you into a pedal speedster. Rant over Phil. True, I agree with him. Phil, do you see the green light on your forks when you're in the lead? Does it distract you? David, I'm a fan of leader lights. This past weekend was a great example of why. You were able to pick out Aaron Plessinger from anywhere on the track. I can't speak for everyone, but I never noticed the lights. Whenever I was out front, I just blacked out anyway. So I'm not sure I even saw what the hell I was doing. Might be a big stretch, but maybe we can get a 1, 2, 3 leader so you can tell who is in a podium spot in a mud race like last weekend. Phil, I hear rumors that you're racing the Canadian Nationals. There's so much false media nowadays that I'm super skeptical. I mean, you just retired. Are you bored already? Feeling healthy again? Interested in foreign travel? Looking for easy money? Hit your head maybe? If this is true, what are you thinking? Thank you, Stan. Stan, in my retirement video, I never said I was done racing. My professional career in the US was finished. The grind of SX, MX, SMX is for the birds at 36 years old. To do it and be a top 10 guy consistently is a lot of work. Yes, I could have probably done it for another year, but I didn't want to do SX anymore. If I wanted to ride around and get 15th, sure, but F that. The Canadian MX series is 8 races. June 1st. It gives me the ability to still ride and enjoy moto without the full pressure of US races. Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. Let's be real. It's a lot of races and a lot of stress racing in the US. I'm also enjoying riding the Cowie. Obviously, I've been on a Yamaha for most of my career, but at the end of the day, there wasn't much there. My job in Kawasaki team, everyone underestimates teams out of Canada, as well as teams in Australia. They all have a lot of smart people. Does the US have the glitz and glam? Hell yeah, it does. But glitz and glam don't pay the bills if you're a young kid. Long story short, I get to still race 8 races, fly back and forth from the US to Canada, and keep off the dad bod for a few months longer. Of course, the dollar and cents always has to make sense, too. Good for him. So this was the original retirement post, I guess. Done and dusted with my Supercross career. It's been a hell of a run. P10 in the shootout in Salt Lake City and a solid season in Supercross. It was great to be up there with these young bucks. I felt like I rode well in the main event. I got to live my childhood dream and race inside a stadium for many years against some badass motherfuckers. I'm glad to have closed that chapter in my life and move on to the great outdoors. Yeah, he said it right there. Well, good luck to Phil Nicholetti with his new journey in Canada. And I'm sure we'll be hearing him on and off on the Pulp MX show. But that's pretty cool. You could write into him, you guys.
Return to the Wick. The story of Tim Bryant, 847, from pain to redemption. From serene mountain escapes to high-octane motocross thrills, Massachusetts is home to a world of adventure. Whether you're here to explore the beauty of the Berkshires, Mount Greylock, the historic Boston Quincy Market, iconic institutions like Tanglewood, the Norman Rockwell Museum. Those who are fans of the outdoors and motorsports are well aware of the sandy track that is the Wick 338. Travel east to the town of Southwick, and you'll find an attraction, one that revs engines and tests the limits of endurance. Welcome to the Wick 338, one of the most legendary motocross tracks in the United States. Known for its deep, unforgiving sand and challenging terrain, the Wick has been pushing riders to their limits since the early 1970s. Hosting AMA Nationals and some of the most exciting motocross battles in history, this track is a proving ground for the toughest and most talented riders in the sport. But with the high stakes of motocross comes an unfortunate reality. Injury is an inevitable part of the sport. The physical demands of motocross push riders to their limits, and crashes often result in broken bones, concussions, and long-term damage. Recovery is a grueling process, and for many riders, pain management becomes a necessary but dangerous road. What starts as a means to manage pain can quickly spiral into dependency. In the world of motocross, there was a dark time that had seen its share of riders battling pain medication and other addictions, a struggle that often goes unnoticed in the shadow of competition. With careers on the line and the pressure to return to the track, many athletes found themselves trapped in a cycle of injury, medication, and dependence. The thrill of motocross comes with scary risks, but awareness and support can make all the difference. As we celebrate the excitement of the sport and the joy it can bring, we must also acknowledge its challenges and stand by those who fight their toughest battles off the track. Now living in Berkshire County about an hour and a half from the Wick, Tim Bryant is living in sobriety, a lifestyle, a day he never thought would come. It's been 21 years since he rode the track. I can remember it like it was yesterday, he said about hearing the sounds of races, people cheering, and all the excitement from the track from his backyard. I loved every minute of it, every chance I got to hear the gate drop and the revs up. He continued to express the memories he cherishes so much. You could see the joy it brought to him. As a young child, he would look out the window instantly when he would hear a motorcycle, or knew while in the car they would be passed by one. His eyes couldn't be taken off that bike till it was completely out of sight. Now 37 and in the best shape of his life, he is ready to take on the challenge and return to the Wick.